Hello, everyone.
Hello, Alex. How are you?
Good, good. Just came back from a week in the US, visiting all the interesting cities. And I actually didn't realize there are so many time zones in that country. So I can say it's good now. Yes, Laurent? Yes, go ahead. Ah, we cannot hear you.
Okay, so maybe we can start now.
Okay, okay, yes. If you want, I can do the intro and give you the hand from there.
Okay, I'll move the slides. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So, hello everyone. This is an interim meeting of the LP1 working group. So this is an IETF meeting, and as such, all official IETF policies apply. And by participating, you agree to follow the IETF process and policies. All right. So if you need to be aware of all the BCPs that are listed here, and I mean everyone that's right now logged in. Of course, you have heard that you have read that note well many times, but please do take time to read it if you have not done so until now. Right. So that's here. For the agenda for today, so we have, of course, an update of the working group, then discussion on the rechartering. I think that a lot of the things have been said already, so it's going to be, I think, maybe the conclusion of these discussions. We'll see. And then SCHC Compound Act and next steps for the architecture document draft. So do you have any additional items that you would like to discuss? Yes, Laurent?
I would come because there was this discussion on the data model that just arrived on the mailing list. So Laurent, yes?
Yes, just to inform you that we publish a new draft that is related to access control. So
Yes.
this is a very basic draft that just summarize what we said last time in a meeting, and the goal now is to add material and start discussion and how we can handle access control.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Well, we may. Do you have a slide on this?
No,
Present?
because the slides are the one I presented last time. Is just some text around, but next time I can.
Okay.
But Laurent just posted to the mailing list, so we at least this was announced. And yes, I mean we can always take it in the agenda items for the next meeting. Laurent, did you see the discussion with Eric and Alana on the young data model? It was around noon today.
No, because my company is blocking mails from RFC editor, so I need a proxy to send it. And I don't think Anna resend me the mail.
Okay. So, I mean, Eric is not with us, right? So maybe we can take that to the next time. Yes, but basically, there was Alana was suggesting to change the title to a young data model as opposed to just data model, something
No,
like
I
that.
think we solved already all this issue. It was 1 week ago, and we produce a new document. And today we also review the document, and I think we finished. Maybe Anna can say more about that.
And by the way, Pascal, I'm in the call, right?
Oh,
And
you're there. Oh, I missed it. Okay.
no problem. My only point at the Auth 48 stage was to move one paragraph in the security consideration just after the two paragraph data copy for the young security template. So no, just a change of the flow in the security section.
Okay. So I mean, you will see this email, Laurent. So please consider it.
Yes. Okay. I don't know if there is a new one, but we answered this morning on a new.
I have sent all the mails to Laurent, so we have the answers I sent was with him, so we answered together.
Okay, and Laurent, if you have problems reading or receiving, the Auth 48, most of the Auth 48 messages are also in an email archive. So if you Google IETF archive Auth 48, you will find all the emails sent in the Auth 48.
Okay, good.
Okay, so that's pretty much it for the agenda bashing, I guess. and the status of the working group has not changed. So I move on quickly on that. But we have, those are great days because we always have news on the document advancement. So Eric, thank you so much for your early AD review for the Compound Act. And we will have a long agenda item to discuss that. Actually, I received one slide from Carles, and it's going to be Sergio speaking it. NB-IoT is still queued to the RFC editor, but it's in edit state, meaning that the RFC editor is working on it. SHIC over Sigfox is complete. The only thing that blocks its publication is the publication of Compound Act. So if you look at the state in details of the Sigfox document, you will find that effectively there is Compound Act which is not yet seen in the RFC editor, and for the reason that we still have to push it to the ASG. But basically, once it's published, the SHIC over Sigfox will be published at the same time. And then we have the young data model, which, as we just discussed, is still in those 48. But from what Laurent was saying, we are mostly done with everything. And we already know the RFC number. It's going to be 9363. So that's it for the document advancement. And let's switch slides if you don't mind, and we'll go straight to the discussion on Compound Act. So I need to change the slide set. Sergio? Go ahead, Sergio, you're muted, but go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, hi, everyone. Sergio here. Well, we received the AD review on version 10. Thanks a lot to Eric for the review. We have already applied almost all changes, and we have a copy. Well, we have a copy on our GitHub discussing with the authors, and we have already all the point-by-point answers to the. Well, we are missing one or two, but we have almost all the answers to the Eric email. Yes. There are mostly that are required. So to the RFC 8724, specifically section 8, 8.4.2. In that case, we are proposing a new sentence following the one that is proposed by Eric to try to make it more clear that the new text is the one that substitutes the old text in some cases, or in some cases the old text is removed or new text is added. I don't know if anyone has any comment on this format or on how we proceed in this case of the new text, old text.
So, Sergio, I would strongly suggest, right? So I was reviewing another draft in IoT evaluation doing the same thing. So it's basically not changing a few words in the text, right? Like you do in the Google Docs or whatever. I would really suggest that you are replacing complete sections that are not too long. Say really, from the top of my head, right? Section 4.1 replaces section 8.4.1 from RFC 8724, and you copy this directly, right? So, and you remove everything that needs to be removed. And so in the new section, right, you don't have new text, old text, and that's it. Because you complete sections or subsection.
In case you need to compare it with the old RFC, and if you need to modify the implementation on that sense. That was,
yes.
but we can do it this way. I think it's simpler.
I understand that for, at least for the authors, it's simpler the way you do it, right? It's pretty much like you do Microsoft Word or Google Docs review mode, right? You see the change. But it's not the way it's usually done at the IETF. So I would really suggest, especially as you replace complete section, right? Do it.
Okay. So in the new version, I will remove this new text, old text, and just leave the new text without
and you say this section replaces the section blah blah in the Shikara.
Perfect. Okay, and similarly with the Appendix D of RFC 8724, in that case, well, we just add a couple of bullet points to the list. I don't know if we need to replace that section again or if we just leave it that.
No, then if you do it completely at the end, you say Appendix D of RFC 8724 is updated by appending the new text, right, at the end. And you say new text, star, star, new text, star, star, the new text, and you end, at the end you say end of new text. Correct, because you replace part of it, right? So, no, I don't know, if Appendix D, I did not check, right? If Appendix D is 10 lines, you replace it completely. If Appendix D is 2 pages, then you simply append the new text to it.
Okay, I think we are appending just the new text because at the end what we are saying is if you are using the compound ACK in the profile. So you need to specify if you are using the compound ACK. That's what we are adding to the Appendix D.
Yeah, it's really a readability issue mainly, right?
Yeah. And we will be adding also a paragraph describing the ACK system just to make it a bit more clear for understanding the compound ACK. No, any comments? Well, we will be sending this probably at the end of the day or beginning tomorrow.
Okay, so Eric, that I understand that the thing that you can write after that you'll be able to push the document to the ISP, or do we need to do anything else?
No, as soon as I am happy, I mean, with the text proposed by Sergio and others, it will go in IETF last call immediately. I mean, within the day.
Well, okay, so I guess we're good there. Anything else on this document, or should I just switch back to the
Just say
architecture?
thanks to Eric and all. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, the authors, right? That's more important. Without authors, we have nowhere.
Okay, and actually, I guess the next item was to go a little bit through the rechartering text. So there was a very limited discussion and change last time. I will show it. But basically, the text has been stable. As we promised last time, we have published the text to the mailing list. There was basically only one reaction. That was Anna. Thank you so much, Anna. But it seems that no one was unhappy with the text. The little change is on the second paragraph that you see here, and where we use the term multi-hop in the beginning of the second paragraph to indicate that really what we care about with this new charter is, as opposed to having just one hop, like in traditional LPWAN networks, between the application and the between the device and the gateway, or there will be now a multi-hop network that can be IP, that can be Ethernet, that can be anything, meaning that we need to expose explicitly what the session is between the endpoints, which was implicit in traditional LPWAN networks, and the architecture effectively will reflect that. So that's the main change on slide 1 of 3. 2 of 3, I think we didn't change anything. There was this discussion that OAM was also multi-hop if the LP1 network is multi-hop. So I guess it's implicit with the fact that we recharter for multi-hop anyway. And the new work items which are proposed for this rechartering have been stable. I mean, they are the same as before. So discussion last time was about, do we need to be explicit on which foo's there are for SHIC over foo and which bar for bar over SHIC. But we decided to give a certain list because we could not leave it completely open. I mean, we thought the ASG would react to that. So we gave a list of what we could support, but we don't commit to support all of them. It's more like giving a focus. We will focus on some of the things that we list here. And yes, I mean, for the rest, it's been stable. So do we have any question on one of those charter item slides, or do we consider it stable now?
Pascal, just maybe a suggestion, because you say SHIC over foo and bar over SHIC. What about SHIC over sublayer or sub IP? And then you say replace, of course, foo later by sub IP layer. And bar over SHIC, you want to say protocol or application over SHIC, something like that.
Okay, let me write that down. Oh, do we have somebody taking the minutes, by the way? I've not been checking.
Yes,
I opened.
Somebody.
Okay, so we need to write down that. So you suggest to change foo by sub IP.
Sub IP layer,
something,
yeah.
So any layer under IP, I guess. But I mean, that includes IP itself. But do you consider IP to be under IP when we do IP over IP? Because we want to include SHIC over
then
IP.
use
Right?
sublayer, right, or something like that.
I'm confused because IP is not a sublayer either, right?
But
I usually say underlying layer. I think that's what we used in 8724.
Excellent, Dominique.
We need to write that down. I mean, I will be editing the draft at the same time, but it's good to write it in the middle. So instead of SHIC over foo, you mean SHIC over sub
underlying layer.
Underlaying. It's a bit convoluted, but. And bar, you say application or
well, yes, but of course, application is not really IPv4, right? So, but yeah, or carried protocol.
And carried protocol.
Yes, Laurent.
Yes, it's underlying layer or layers.
Layer, I guess.
Layer. Okay.
And honestly, I think we need to stop bike shedding, as we say at the IETF, the charter. It will be reviewed by the AG, and you will get more change to it, and then by the IT community with more change. So, Pascal, try to send me, or Alexandre, try to send me the charter, and I will start the process this week, right? Or even later today.
Okay, I will send it right after the. So I'm applying this particular change. And then I will send it to you right away. So protocols over SHIC.
And just to be clear, right, on this special day, I stopped my day working on my day earlier to go to the restaurant with somebody, right? So
yes, we're all there. we're all there.
okay.
Okay, but so it's not like we expect you to process that today, but I will. I'm doing this edit because anyway we are ahead of our time, so I will just reread to you the text as it's, because foo appears a number of times. That's why you see me gasping a little bit. Underlying. Okay, so basically if underlying layers has replaced foo and bar has been replaced by the protocol or carried protocol, depending on where that is. And Eric, I will send this email with the document and copy Alex right now. So it's done. Okay, and as you said, I mean, it will be so messaged after that anyway it doesn't really matter. But at least you have the list of the work items that we would like to cover. There we go. It's flying to you, Eric. And so for this, we're good. And let's move on. Okay, the architecture. So last time we discussed whether there should be two steps or stages in the architecture document. One describing more, the art of LP1s, where you have this single hop. And then one where we would extend that to multi-hop and expose the changes that this implies to the architecture. I mean, having possibly peer-to-peer communication as opposed to device-to-app communication. And also having the need to signal the session, because now we are going over multiple hops between possibly peer nodes. And so we discussed that, and looking at the minutes, remembering what was said, it seems that we converged into saying that having those two steps is a bit of an overkill. We need, because that's really our history, that's how we got there. But it's not really what we are building. What we are building is we have this session. It's implicit, it's explicit, but we have this session. So let's have the architecture show something which works in any case, and then say, oh, by the way, in the signaling, you may not need to signal the session, but it's there. It's always there. And since we converge on saying that, that's what I said last time, but I mean, reviewing, that was still the same. I'm not convinced that we need to change the structure of the architecture document. It seems to convey what was asked last time, what was really in this list of changes. So I still retain the comments by Ivan, but my bottom line is, and the discussion that we had last time is we're covered for what was discussed, and the changes of structure to have those two steps are not necessarily improving the architecture. And if it was a history document or something, that would have made sense, I mean, to explain how we got there. But here we want to give basically where we are, what we want to build. What we want to build is something with that session, implicit or explicit. And it has to support multi-hop, and it has to support the provisioning of the devices, provisioning of the network, etc. That's where I am. I'm not saying that the architecture is complete, but I'm saying that the change of structure that was proposed in this email does not seem to really help in where we want to go. So we have not acted on it. So that's pretty much it. Alex?
Yeah, I agree, Pascal, with this one. And of course, I think once we get the new charter finalized, we'll reread the architecture document and just make sure that everything that's in the charter is covered, which I think it is, right? Just like reread it once more, and then I think we have everything there. And if we see something missing, we'll contribute, right? But I agree. Yeah.
That's a great point, because all this discussion we had about the foo and the bars, etc. We probably need to write something in the architecture to explain that chic can really act as a sublayer in various places, and sometimes you have it several times on your stack. And so there are the things which it compresses and the thing that transport it. And these are the foos and the bars. And so we probably need to provide more details on that. We have some text. But yes, since the recharter will open more work on that, I agree that we'll probably need to expand.
Yeah. So
Any?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's all from, it was all I wanted to say. That I agree with what you said here. That the structure is okay as it is today, and after rereading, after that, maybe we'll consider something else. But for the moment, that doesn't make maybe it's not the right time to rearrange stuff before seeing how things will evolve with the rechartering.
Okay, and the discussion that Laurent has started on access control, etc., and this and which is listed here, yes, we will need to have some text. The thing is, we kind of write something in the architecture once the group has kind of converged on something. So access control is just an early draft. It's been one discussion by Laurent, and so it's probably not stable enough to be written in the architecture. But I'm sure that soon it's going to be, and we will have the section on access control as well. Laurent?
Yes, access control can be just a draft and then can merge to architecture, or if we don't add a lot of things around. Another point is that I think the architecture has to be very generic. It means that we don't have to say it works for LP1, it works for mesh. It's just an architecture that can be applied to all these technologies. So
yes, that's what we concluded last time as well. We're in line.
So, for example, what we need to know is how we identify the chic instances and all that stuff. So to be sure that we have something that is universal. And then on security, for example, we can state that, for example, a device can only modify its representation on the core or things like this. So to restrict what can be changed, but in the world. So
that's yes, Laurent. If this is very touchy wording, so it would be great that, if you don't mind, you post an email where you craft the words that you would like to see in the security section to cover the access control. So if you're already very clear based on your document, etc., and the discussion we had last time of what kind of wording exactly you would like to see in the architecture, then we can expose it to the mailing list and get feedback and discuss it. And then once the words are agreed, we will put them in the architecture.
But it's not clear to me too. So that's why I put access control. In fact, is to have a discussion on that and see what part of this discussion can go to the architecture, and if it remains something that is not in the architecture, because, for example, we have to define and we will have to define a young data model, then we need maybe it can be ever in the architecture, but
Oh, no, the architecture will stay high level, Laurent. Any specification, and it will remain informational. So anything standard track will be in its own standard. So the architecture will be the underlying structure, which explains how things fit together. But how they are done will be in the specification documents, which will be standard track, not just informational.
Okay, so one point is how the other end identify the other end. Is it by a certificate? Is it by some layer 2 information? And so it's things that we have to identify because, for
Yes, there
example,
is the discovery of the other hand, and once you have discovered,
an
somebody who
identification.
claims to be the one you care, there is a proof, of whether he is effectively the person that you want to talk to.
Yeah. So I mean, Laurent, I think it's really precious, the document that you are writing about the ACL, the access control, and we discussed that we need to define a couple of use cases. I think like the cases where we want to define that ACL for. So I think that's super useful. But I mean, I maybe it's really good if we have like to prepare for that discussion, because it's a very deep topic, and I know that we can take up all the time and maybe not arrive at a conclusive step. But there is something like on the ACL. There's something about that. We'll see how it translates to the architecture, and that's something I'm really looking forward to. So that being said, I think so. With the discussion on architecture is so we went through that. So the ACL, maybe we'll discuss that on the next time. That's really great. And I think that we've went through all the items for today. Pascal,
I mean, we're all set. So yes, we agree with you. We have to do that discussion on how you locate the endpoint and how you secure the communication. I think Bob Moscovitz has a lot of ideas on that, and so when Bob is with us, we can have more discussions. Last but not least, I have requested a work group meeting for Yokohama. Personally, I don't have my ticket yet, so I don't know if I'm flying to Yokohama. I hope I am, but it's not sure for now. But at least LP1 will happen.
That's great. Thank you, Pascal. I'm not sure I'm going either for Yokohama.
Okay, we'll see.
Mm.
Will be there?
Will you be there?
Laurent, that was a question for you, I think.
No.
Okay, so we will need to find in-person delegate for LP1.
Yes. I mean, I'm not. I mean, maybe I'm coming, Eric, but I just don't have the confirm for now.
Yeah, no. We work for the same company, right? I know the same.
Yeah, exactly. So I know late, but yes. I mean, Dominique, are you going?
No, I'm not going. Nobody's paying for my ticket anymore.
Ah, ça y est, c'est fait. Okay. So Eric, I don't know. I mean, it's just open right now.
Okay, very worst case, I could do it, of course, but that's not the expected thing.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Okay. And with this, I guess that we're done. So if there is there any other business for today? I'm hearing none. So we're giving you back 20 minutes of your life. And so what's the next session? We have another one before IETF, right? I think we do. Let me just.
Yes, I'm not going to be here. It's at the same time as the Mobile World Congress, so I'll be there at that time. So I'm not going to be able to join. It's on 28th of February.
Okay. Okay, so next year we'll do it on 29 to make sure. Okay,
it's
so
2024, so there is actually a 29th.
damn. Okay, so goodbye, you all, and talk to you for those who are not at the World Congress 2 weeks from now. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.